Alright, what's up with the YouTube fam? I'm back again with another video, and thank y'all for coming to this channel. I really appreciate y'all for doing that. But basically, long story short, we're finna go ahead and get straight into the situation at hand. Okay, like I was stating on the other video, you know, Miss Margaret lost her life due to her daughter and granddaughter doing this to her, you know. And it's so crazy to actually hear the details of everything that took place. They used a chainsaw, they chopped the body up, and they actually put her in a barbecue grill and barbecued her. I don't understand why you would even do something like this. It's so sad and so sick and so wicked. It's so many different things. It's low level, low vibrational, just all of the below. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like that everything that, you know, that they did to this lady, man, they need to pay for it. I feel like that they need to stop going through the court processes and all of that. And I'm going to continue saying that often when it's a situation that I really don't feel, or when it's very, very gruesome and everybody really know what's going on. But yeah, man, you know, for them to actually sit there and chop her up and do what they did to her, man, it's just so sad and it's so sick, man. You know, some of the meals that they probably prepared was on their barbecue grill. You feel what I'm saying? Like the neighbors even knew that it wasn't something right with the situation due to the fact of how the grill was positioned and things like that, and they haven't heard from her. You can tell she was a very social person, especially with her neighbors and things like that. For them to actually do a wellness check, something had to be wrong. It was some type of dysfunction going on. It was something happening for them to actually maneuver the way that they maneuvered in this situation. Now, me personally, like I said before, they need to go ahead and dispose of the trash, get rid of them. It's nothing to actually go to court for or none of that. But, you know, it is going to be very, very interesting to hear why they did this. Now, you know, I know they're going to lie about it to the end of time, but, you know, they might try to tell the truth and things like that. But one thing I will say before I move forward, there's no justification for it, and I really don't give a damn what the circumstances or the situation was about. I just want to know the details, you know what I'm saying? And to actually see your children, your grandchild is a child to you as well, taking your life, got to be the most betrayal that you can ever feel. They've been getting fed by her. She been feeding them for years, taking care of them, probably been in their corner when nobody else was. And it's just sad, bro. I can't get that out of my mind. I couldn't even imagine man. I can't even imagine hurting my grandmother in this type of way. In no type of way. But especially like this, like actually harming her and taking her apart. Like, bro, come on now. But listen, I got a little bit more details about everything that took place with the situation. And it's very gruesome. So yeah, man, y'all better make sure that y'all can stomach these things. And if you can't watch this, man, there's really no need to let us know that. We'll just holler at you later on another video. But this is a crime channel, and we do get deep on certain situations. So yeah, you might want to move around right now before we get into it. But please don't let us know. We don't really care to hear that part about it. But to all my supporters, everybody that's rocking with me, man, I appreciate y'all for being here. And I want to say RP to Miss Margaret one more time, man, because I know it's got to be very sad for her to go through what she had to go through with these people, bro. Let's get into it, though, and see what's going on with everything. Some of these details will make you very upset like they did me.
You out to Prince George's County in Maryland. Of course, we're following a story there. I want to put a tweet from our Fox 5 team as the Maryland murder of 71-year-old grandmother. Police say they found human remains in a trash bags in the basement and a chainsaw. They both appeared in a Prince George's County courtroom this afternoon at 1:15 p.m. Eastern. Of course, following this very closely here on Live Now from Fox, as authorities say a mother and her daughter have been charged in connection with family's grandmother. Police have charged 44-year-old Candace Craig with first and second degree. Her 19-year-old daughter is also charged with accessory after the fact. Let's take you out to some remarks here, live, raw, and unfiltered on Live Now from Fox.
Yeah, what can you say as far as what happened at the hearing today? No bond status. I missed part of it. Was it said that all of the victim and the two defendants lived all together?
So the victim and okay, we believe that the victim and the two defendants were all connected to the house in some way. Obviously, they were all related. And today, the two defendants were held without bond in this case.
And do we know how she actually died at this point?
At this point, that is still under investigation. The ME is involved, and hopefully we'll have a cause of death shortly.
Is that something that can be determined with a body that mutilated, or is that?
You know, with the extent of the injuries, with the dismemberment, it is going to be very difficult. You know, I think that the ME's office will do their best to give us a cause and manner of death. But in this case, which is unlike any case I have ever seen or experienced here in the county. I mean, to say it's disturbing is an understatement. It's horrifying. The allegations contained in the statement of charges is just heartbreaking. One of the things that I wanted to mention is that this is Elder Abuse Awareness Month. And it's important, I think, to note in this case that someone related to our victim was concerned enough about her whereabouts that they reached out to do a welfare check. And the Prince George's County Police Department is a wonderful resource, as well as all of our municipal departments. They do these welfare checks because of someone caring enough to reach out, because our department was doing its job. We uncovered a horrific crime.
And for her to be a black lady, I know this got to be turn her up from the inside, because I'm pretty sure she was already thinking. Now, the way she's presenting herself online, true enough, it might be her also offline, but deep down inside, she feeling like, what the hell wrong with these crazy ass girls? These stupid ass girls. You out here doing this to your mama and grandmama? Or y'all slow? One of them looks slow. But man, it's just crazy to even do this. Like, how could you fix your... How did your... man, bro, when I tell you I be thinking so deep, like, what, like, how could your body even move to do this? You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy, man. It's crazy. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure I would have locked up before. I would have been like, whoa, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? That's what I was meaning by spiritual warfare. Something that's taking over a lot of people now. Some of these people are demonic spirits by themselves. True enough, but something else is over these people, man. It's spiritual warfare, and they losing, man. Make sure that you being right with God. You protecting your peace, your energy, everything about you. You make sure that you protect it, man, because people are energy vampires. They like to transfer energy as well, and you don't want to deal with none of that, man. I'm telling y'all, real talk. Make sure that you're being at peace with yourself. Make sure that everything that you're doing is from the heart and is pure. Stop allowing people to get around you with these negative ass energies and things like that, man, because it will bring you down, and sometimes, man, it actually consumes you as well in the process. So yeah, but let's get back into it though.
So our job now is to ensure that our victim gets justice, and that is what we're going to do. Jess Garth, who's the chief of our Special Victims and Family Violence Unit, I'm going to ask her to come up and talk a little bit about, some of the facts as we provided in court today for those of you who weren't there. So Jeff?
Good afternoon. As the state's attorney said, somebody did come forward and contacted the police department and asked the police to do a welfare check. At the time that the officer arrived at the home, they were allowed to enter the home by one of the residents. In the basement, they uncovered the putrefying remains of the decedent in this case. They locked down the scene, they went and got a search warrant, and what they uncovered was, as the state's attorney said, one of the most disturbing crimes I think that this county has seen, at least, in recent times. It looks like there was some sort of a disagreement between Miss Craig and her mother, the decedent. Sounds like at that time she opted to take the life of her mother, and then after that she and her daughter dismembered the body, I believe using a chainsaw, and then attempted to dispose of the parts of the body using fire on a grill and in a bonfire, according to the investigation so far. This is a case that's still under investigation. We do anticipate that we'll have additional facts that we develop along the way. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them.
Is there any guess as to how long she may have been died before the police were called?
I don't know. There is some indication that the fire department was called out on May 27th to investigate one of the fires that was being used to dispose of the body parts, but further than that I can't say.
So at least almost like a week, I guess.
Yes.
Then, obviously, we've kind of...
That right there could have saved a whole lot of time and, help somebody with their mental health at the time, because I'm pretty sure everybody's mind was racing. It was a whole bunch of shit going on, but at the same time, we never know what really just stopped them from actually going further into the investigation with that right there. I just feel like that when somebody is called out to a home, people should actually take the time out to look, man. Actually, just go ahead. They need to pass a law to help people out, but you know, at the same time, man, it'll be abused also. You know, people will start coming into your house for all type of different shit. So I can understand the boundaries in that, but when it's a very severe situation, especially with an elder person or you know a child or just anybody, you know, so I feel like that when it's something severe, they should go ahead and take the extra mile. You know, I mean, if you're really not doing nothing wrong, why would you care about them coming in trying to see if something was really wrong inside of your household? You know what I'm saying? But hey, it is what it is. Get back into it.
Gotten to recognize you a little bit because you've been involved with some pretty gruesome cases.
Unfortunately, so.
Yeah, some pretty unfortunate stuff. And up there, you kind of talked about how this is one of the worst that you've ever seen.
Yes.
Just add a little more context out here.
Sure. Well, you know, I talk a lot about domestic violence, and often it's in the context of intimate partner violence, but family violence is, you know, just as much a part of domestic violence. And in many ways, we're talking about people who, you know, they are supposed to be protecting one another, caring for one another. When you're talking about your elderly parents as they get older, it's our duty as children to protect our parents. And certainly our duty to not murder them and then to dispose of them in such a gruesome way. When I think about this case, I think about how hard it is to actually dismember a human body. I mean, some people have difficulty, you know, even cooking food, dealing with things like raw chicken. And when you're thinking about a body and then burning it, it just, it's very hard for me to think about, especially when you're talking about somebody who gave birth to you, who raised you. So yeah.
Is it safe to say you may never know how exactly she was killed?
You know, as the state's attorney said, our medical examiner's office is going to do everything that they can do. It is possible that some of the evidence was destroyed, that we may need to determine the exact, you know, way that she was taken from us. But I think it's safe to say that this case will be ruled a homicide.
Any update on the knife that was on the floor and then was missing when the police went back?
I don't have any particular details. I do know a search warrant was executed. They collected many different tools, and they'll be tested for DNA and for blood as well.
We heard from Justin Court, but Madam State's Attorney, is this the most gruesome murder that you've seen in your time?
I mean, absolutely. On so many different levels. The fact that this was a mother, you know, there's, I don't believe I've had a case where a mother was killed by a daughter. And I certainly don't believe I've ever seen a case where a mother was not only killed by her daughter, but dismembered by her daughter and her granddaughter. So just the thought of people who are in your lineage, people who are supposed to be carrying on your legacy, being a part of your demise is almost unbelievable. And then not only but the death, but the dismemberment of the body being found in multiple bags, decaying in a home. I'm at a loss.
Slightly different subject. Can I just ask one more? Were these like trash bags, gym bags, like?
The information I have is that they were plastic bags, but I don't know the size at this time.
Some sort of trash bag type of thing.
I would imagine.
Okay.
And was this home the grandmother's home?
Yes.
Been asked to dig on it a little more.
Yeah,
As far as
sure.
that he was on probation potentially at the time of the alleged attack on the bus and the thing in the district. Not registered in any school anywhere. It's also been determined. Should DJS have been supervising this child? If the child is on probation, should someone have been making sure he was kind of in school and living life?
You know, because
Is there a failure with DJS?
knew you were going to ask that question. I think it's fair to say I've had a number of conversations with DJS, and as late as Friday, I've been in contact with the new Secretary of Juvenile Services. I think that DJS is, in many cases, overwhelmed just like other agencies, especially public safety agencies. But we all have to do better because our young people have to be in school. Those who are on probation actually have to be supervised. And if they are supposed to be participating in programs, then they have to be accountable for participating in those programs. I think that there's a lot of work to be done at DJS. I think and I've spoken to the governor personally about it. And he's committed to looking at resources that we need to add to our Department of Juvenile Services to ensure that the services that they do provide are actually meaningful to the people who they serve. A lot of the services are really controlled at the state level, but those of us on the ground know what our kids need, and if we could get more of those resources locally, I think we can make a better impact and have programs that will better meet the needs of our young people. But we have to hold them accountable. Oftentimes what I hear is that DJS has done all that they could do for a child. Whether or not that child is successful in completing the program offered by DJS, then they will just discharge them, partially because of the new laws and the limitations on the amount of time that a child can be under the supervision of the Department of Juvenile Services. So I think in many ways, everyone has, I don't want to say failed, but everyone has probably gotten it wrong a little bit. So our state legislature, we're asking them to rethink and relook at some of the laws, especially the laws that speak to punishment or sanctions that a child can experience. Certainly rehabilitation is the goal of the juvenile justice system, and so we don't want to over-incarcerate kids, but some of our kids need more supervision, more structure, and some of them need to be confined for a period of time, and they actually have to show improvement. They just can't be discharged because the program timing has run out. You know, that's just not fair to the child. It's not fair to the community either. So there's a lot of work that we need to do, and DJS, I believe the new secretary knows that he has a lot of changes to make. So thanks. Thank you.
You're just listening into this press conference there out of Prince George's County. Certainly a disturbing, a horrifying story that was their quote there of this, as the mother and daughter charged with murder in the death of their grandparents. I want to put up the mug shots one more time here on Live Now from Fox and give you a little bit more detail on what we know from this. Of course, they were held there without bond as the 44-year-old Candace Craig with first degree, and her daughter also, Celia Hardy, charged with accessory after the fact. As authorities say, a mother and daughter have been charged in connection with murdering the family's grandmother inside their home. Officials, they believe Craig murdered the mother, Margaret Craig, on the 23rd of May inside their home in Landover, Maryland. Investigators say the following day, her daughter helped her mother attempt to dispose of the remains. Certainly very disgusting, horrifying details there. Officers were called to the home on the afternoon of June the 2nd for a welfare check on the grandmother and were allowed to search inside. Homicide and evidence units were notified and assumed the investigation after officers smelled the odor of decomposition. So certainly a very disturbing story there out of Maryland, as the mom and daughter there charged in murder of that grandmother.
And that's the end of that situation, man, and I want to know what y'all feel about this, man. But yeah, for them to go to her house, take her life, and do her like that, it's just pitiful, man. It's sickening. They need to be taken care of the exact same manner that they took care of the mother. They need to go ahead and get their life taken. They need to be dismembered, everything. The same exact thing. That's just how I feel about it, you know. I feel like that, you know, when it's something that's not so deep like this, I don't believe in the eye for an eye. You know what I'm saying? But because I always feel like being a bigger person is the best thing to do in a lot of situations. But when it comes to something like this, yes, I believe that they should go ahead and get the full extent of whatever they can get in a situation like this. For them to go out there and take their mother's life like this and grandmother's life like this is just sad and it's low, and they'll do it to their own kids, in my opinion. And everything I am saying is my opinion. But yeah, I think they'll take it as far as they can take it. You know what I'm saying? They'll take each other's life. The mama will take the daughter's life, and the daughter will take the mother's life. I mean, if you can watch your mother take her own mother's life, and if you can watch your daughter take your mother's life, then what the hell do you think that they'll do to each other? You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, it's a sad and it's a sick situation. I pray that the family can get through this situation. You know what I'm saying? But I know it's going to be easier said than done, and I hope that nobody ever forgives these people. They don't deserve it. They shouldn't even be living no more, in my personal opinion. They better be glad that they didn't get you know, their life taken by other family members, because I'm pretty sure that a lot of them want to get a hold to them right now. You know what I'm saying? Because I most definitely would want to. You do my granny like that, boy, I want your life. You feel me? But hey, everything I did say in this video was just my thoughts and opinions. And, you know, I don't really want to go out there and harm anyone. But I'm just saying, if it was something like this, I would definitely want to. But other than that, man, that's all I got to say about the situation. Y'all tell me what y'all feel about everything in the comment section. Y'all like, comment, subscribe if you like my commentary. If you don't like my commentary, I really don't give a damn. Thank y'all for rocking with me the way that y'all do, and I appreciate y'all. And RIP to Miss Margaret one more time. All right.